Hello, I'm so happy I got a hold of you. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Lucious Showcase. I am Lucious T, and welcome to week 2 of Monster Madness Month. This week we're taking a look at an NES game that you probably guessed because I gave a really easy hint. So, you already know what it is a title. Let's not waste any more time, let's check it out. I first learned of Monster Party from my pal, the gaming historian. My pal, the gaming historian, Right. I binge-watched all his content back in 2015, and he had a review on it. And it looked good, so I bought it. Does this guy ever have an original thought in his head? I loved the Universal monsters when I was a kid, and hell, I love monsters in general, so a game with tons of them in it looked neat. However, once I played it, I found the game unforgiving. Since I wasn't planning on reviewing it, I put it aside without ever beating Stage 1. That jack-o'-lantern boss was a bitch. Or you just suck at games. But that changes right now. Let's dive in.
There's a lot of games out there, some of which you've never even heard of. That's where I come in. I'm Lucious T. I've been playing games since the age of 2, and I have no life. This is Retroactive.
Monster Party is a side-scrolling action-adventure game that plays out like a mini boss rush mode. Each stage sees you traversing enemies and obstacles en route to finding 1 to 3 boss monsters that you must defeat. Once this is accomplished, the last monster grants you a key that allows you to unlock a door. Most doors are found at the end of the stage. Unlock it and move on to the next level. Now, each boss monster can be found inside one of the various hovels you find throughout the stage. Each stage presents them differently, but basically walk into an open door when you see it. Now, many of the rooms you enter are emptied, so you have to search the whole level thoroughly. Now, you play as Marc, just another regular Joe, much in the vein of Mike from Star Tropics, when suddenly Bert, a flying griffin thing, says you are needed to come save Monsterland. He then flies you off without warning into dangerous Monster World. He then merges his life force with you too, without even asking. Really seems like a swell guy, that Bert. Luckily, Bert doesn't leave you hanging. There is a similar mechanic to Werewolf, where you play as either Marc or Bert. Unlike Werewolf, though, it's only a timed power-up, and not something that stays permanent until you take enough damage. Now, Mike attacks with a bat and can crawl like a worm and jump. He seems weak at first, but you eventually learn that his jump attack can be used to your advantage. When you attack while airborne, he holds the bat out, essentially making him a solid wall of death. Now, you can also control Mike's fall speed while airborne too, meaning you can make a quick clip of an enemy and immediately duck to have them walk over you. Now, it took me a while to figure out this technique. Without it, the game seems much harder. The onion ring boss was kicking my ass. I was slowly chipping him but getting nowhere. Then I realized I could use the jump attack and destroyed him. Now, this whole game is full of mechanics like this. Health drops are far and few between. A little health is restored upon the completion of a level, but for the most part, health is hard to come by. Luckily, you have unlimited continues and always start on the last stage you made it to. However, if you notice, the same enemies always drop health. Now, seeing as how this is one of those games where enemies respawn if you walk far enough away or enter a room and exit, I began to wonder, do they drop health more than once? They do! Game changer, baby! They don't drop health forever, but you can get a good 6 to 8 drops and refill a huge amount of health. Even more than you start a level with. Now, this is vital to beating the game, so I'm assuming the developer wanted you to do this. Now, enemies also drop pills that turn you into Bert. You can sometimes turn into Bert from a question mark too. Now, the question marks can either give you points, health, or turn you into Bert. Now, points suck, but the other two are great. And question marks drop randomly and can also randomly spawn in empty rooms and cleared boss rooms. Now, if an enemy drops a Bert pill, they will always drop a Bert pill, so you can use this to your advantage and always have Bert at the ready for a tough section or boss fight. Now, Bert can shoot projectiles and fly, but you will eventually find times where Marc is better to use than Bert, though those instances are very rare. Bert is a beast. Why the hell does this guy need my help anyways? Maybe he just wanted to make me his Ernie. Now, I've mentioned the health bar earlier. It starts about half full, and you can fill it all the way by farming health and not getting hit. You're gonna need it too. Some of the boss fights are straight up kamikaze missions. though they all have a little bit of strategy, like the one I found on the onion ring boss. Once you know how to deal with a boss pattern and how to best attack it, you can make quick work of them. Marc's bat can also ricochet projectiles back at enemies, which usually one-shots most regular enemies and can sometimes be the only way to damage a boss. It's fun when you melt a tough boss's face by just going crazy on them. Ironically, one of those situations where Marc is better than Bert is the final boss fight because he can hit projectiles and Bert cannot. I guess that's why I needed your help. All the stages are fairly straightforward until you get to stage 6, which is a door maze that only has one boss, and then stage 7, which is a vertical climb. Still, the whole game is very solid, and while it's a little cryptic to learn, it is immensely fun and a solid entry for the NES. It also has good humor to it. The ending is hilarious. First, you get home and unleash Pandora's box, only to realize it was all a dream. You then open the door to leave your house, and Bert's standing there. It might not make much sense, but it sure is satisfying, and one of the best NES games I've played in a long time. Time for some Lucious metrics. Game design. More than meets the eye. There is a lot working in the background of this game. It's easy to overlook and write this game off as too hard, much the way I did upon purchasing it 3 years ago. Now, once you discover how the world works, it becomes amazingly fun and is a very intelligent way to structure a game. It just takes a little effort to see. Playability. Learning curve. Much like the game design, there is a curve to learning this game. Maintaining Bert, building health, and using the fall mechanic to your advantage are all crucial and easy to overlook. You will realize that your baseball bat has a big upward hitbox. Bert is a Zerg machine and super powerful when you get to sections where you can chain Bert pills together. That makes the game feel amazing. It just takes a little bit of effort. If you can beat stage 2, you're well on your way to a real monster mash. Cost of entry. Remarkably low. I think I got my copy for about $10 3 years ago, and the game still goes for about $15 now. For such a fun and relatively obscure game, that is a bargain. Pick this up now. Storytelling. Funny. It's a great, ridiculous story that makes no sense, but damn if it isn't fun, especially the double fake-out ending. Monster Party proves that first impressions aren't always correct. Thank God I played this game more than 5 minutes before I reviewed it because my opinion took a total 180. Now I don't know if the game developers had farming health in mind when they made this, but that and all the other nuance of the game makes you feel really smart when you figure it out. Either I exploited the game, or I discovered the path. Either way, I am happy. Taking all that into account from the perspective of a binge-playing game finisher, I give this my Lucious T recommendation of beat it. And there you have it. That's it for this week, guys. Thank you for joining me. Wow, what a great game Monster Party was. I thought this was going to be a slog to get through based on the 5 minutes I played back in the past. Not the case at all. Once you figure out how the game works, it's just a blast to get through. And I really like that about certain NES games. That's one of the reasons I love Cobra Triangle so much. Even though everyone says it's too hard, once you understand how to play it, it's a lot of fun. And Monster Party is just like that. So perfect game to pick up now. It's still fairly cheap for NES games of this caliber. And just go get it. So let me know if you've played Monster Party. Let me know what you guys think about it. And as a tease to next week, we're going to be taking a look at an NES game. And I'm sure you can figure out what it is because there aren't so many games out there that have Monster in the title. Anyways, so that's it for this week, guys. As a reminder, I release a new video every Tuesday. Please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you actually see my videos every once in a while. And once again, it's been so nice getting a hold of you. Take care.